Oh, life with roots of my lovelies. So today we're going to talk about the trend that is all over the place. When you go on the internet, Facebook, everywhere, everyone is trying to sell pills and herbs for weight loss. And I totally understand. Being on that journey myself, I've talked about that. I have a video about that. I've gained weight myself, and I know you can get desperate in the desire to lose weight. But don't buy pills. Don't buy herb strains to lose weight. They don't work. Those pills, those hormones are just going to harm your health. They're going to cause problems with your heart. They're going to cause problems with the entire system. First of all, you're just wasting your money. You're just torturing yourself emotionally and having to go to the toilet every 2 seconds because your stomach is running. It doesn't work. Let me tell you what these herbs and pills do. These herbs and pills are just going to deplete you of all your fluids in your body, which can even cause heart problems because we need these electrolytes in our body to function, for our blood to function, for our heart to function. So definitely these herbs and pills promising to help you lose weight are really, really dangerous. And we've had even fatal situations. For example, if you research about that, people have had heart problems, people have died from that. So do not do that. People promise you, and I even don't understand. I'm not going to be judgmental of anyone, but I'm asking myself, how can someone promise me to lose 20 kgs in 1 week? It's biologically, physically, logically not possible to lose 20 kgs in 1 week. So I don't understand how in the world one can believe that and even spend a lot of money to buy such herbs and pills. They don't work. The only thing they do is they make you lose the fluids in your body. As you know, the human body is made of a lot of fluid. I think 70%, 90% of our body is made up of fluids. I've forgotten that, but I know big percentages of our body and weight is made up of fluids, which are also important. So these herbs, they make you lose the fluid because, of course, you're having diarrhea, you're going to the toilet all the time. So you feel lighter, and even when you go on the weighing scale, you feel you've lost a few grams, but you're not to lose weight. And then you're also going to lose on the muscle, but you're not going to lose the fat. I don't know if you've heard of skinny fat. Skinny fat is actually even more dangerous than someone who is really fat, because there's some people who are fat, like what we title as fat, but they're healthier than someone who's skinny fat. So what is skinny fat? Skinny fat is someone who has more fat levels than muscle. And then we have someone that appears fat, but they have more muscle than even someone that is skinny. So you have to be very, very careful. These pills do not work. These herbs do not work. I think the most important thing is to look at the factors before you even embark on a weight loss journey. Ask yourself, why have I put on weight? That should be the question you ask yourself. The people who say, I've always been on the bigger side all my life, then that means it has something to do with your genetics, has to do with your genes. And if I was to start on a weight journey loss, I would make sure to get an assessment, because there's been studies to prove that, for example, our blood groups determine how easily we lose weight or how easily we gain weight, or what kind of diet would work for you, for example. So there are things you want to clear out with your doctor or with your dietitian, but I prefer we go to a PG, have some tests done. Recently, I did a video about the reason why I've put on weight, and for me, it was because of the thyroid underfunction. That is something very, very, very many women experience. Men also have that problem, but it's very, very common among women. And I think for me, the first thing I would do if I gained weight suddenly, unexplained weight, I would definitely go to my PG first and have him run some tests, do some blood tests, check out your hormones. Very, very important. Have your hormones checked out, especially if you're above the age of 35 and so on, or even have hit the age of 40. It's very important to have your hormones checked out because they also contribute quite a lot to your weight, So have your doctor look at that, and then you can decide which journey works for you as regards weight loss, definitely. For those of you that are wondering what I mean by thyroid underfunction, just go and watch my video. It's also there, that talks about how thyroid underfunction can affect your weight as a woman especially, or as a person. If we're talking about mothers who have gained weight after birth, be kind to yourself. I know, just imagine it took you 9 months to accumulate this weight. Why do you think you can lose it in 1 week? Be patient, be realistic. I know social media is awash with photos and pictures of before and after of moms who just popped their babies out in the morning and they look fantastic in the afternoon. Those are not realistic pictures. Keep in mind that we have lots of apps that do a lot of photoshopping and editing that people look slim and all when they are not, but also about genetics. I'll give an example about myself. when I was pregnant with my 2 kids, I gained only 8 kilograms, you know? So it's no brainer that when the babies pop out, I would definitely go back to my weight immediately, because if a baby is 3.5 kgs, you know, and then you add on the weight of the placenta, you add on the weight of all the fluids and liquids that are inside of me, it means the moment I pop my baby out, all the 8 kgs go out, are flashed out, let me put it that way. So in my case, I never had to embark on a weight loss journey after birth, because the moment my babies popped out, I was back to my normal weight, except with maybe 1 or 2 kgs. And that's what I'm saying, you have to be kind to yourself. So if you see me popping my baby out and looking slim all of a sudden, it's because I never put on much weight, you know? So don't be so hard on yourself. And when we are realistic, it is said biologically that every woman puts on at least a minimum of 10 to 20 kgs when pregnant. Above 20, that means you put on too much weight. I would advise you to watch your weight even when you're pregnant, because that can also have dire effects like diabetes and so on. So up to 20 kilograms, it's very okay. Be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and of course set an action plan, which I'm going to dive right in, and set a goal and a ultimatum of how you're going to go about it. But most of all, be patient with yourself. So if I was to dive into like the mom who has just given birth, for example, breastfeeding is a very, very easy form of weight loss. I'm not saying you must breastfeed because of that, but if you're breastfeeding, just be assured it's going to help you lose weight. Secondly, you have to watch your diet also, even when you've just given birth. You need all the nutrients for your baby. But this business of, like in Africa, they always say when you're pregnant, you have to eat for 2. That's nonsense. You know, you only eat as much as your body needs, and not eating for 2. That's why you end up gaining 40 kgs, which is very unhealthy. So after delivering, don't drink jugs and jugs of porridge or eating platefuls of food, but eat just enough that for you get the nutrients. I know being a freshly baked mom, you don't have the time like to go to the gym or do, you know, intense sport, but you can incorporate that in your activity. Like when your baby is sleeping, just do a few leg raises. You know, there are different kinds of sports that you can do at home. I can do squats, I can do wall sits, I can do leg raises, very, very small things. I can, you know, train my arms using bottles of water. Or if you can't, just go for a walk. A brisk walk of 15 to 30 minutes is enough. You know, if you can be able to do that 3 to 4 times a week, you start slowly by slowly. Along when you're cleaning your house, you do the hovering, you know, that is also sport. If you going out with your child, just make sure you park your car a distance and be able to walk a few minutes, you know. Every opportunity you have to incorporate sport or activeness in your lifestyle, you just do that. But most of all, be patient, be kind with yourself. But like I said at the beginning, very important, first get to the root cause. Don't treat the symptom, treat the cause, treat the disease, you know. Get to know, I'm not saying being fat is a disease, but you need to understand, why have I put on weight? For example, like I've told you, all my life I was a very, very skinny person, you know. Before I got pregnant, my weight was always 58, a maximum, you know. So when I got pregnant, I added 8 kgs, got my baby and was back to my natural weight. Until last year, no, not last year, until 2021, I gained up to 10 kilograms. That was a drastic change. And it would have been false of me to just say, let me hit the gym, let me start doing sport, without knowing what the cause was, because I would have never lost weight. Because my cause was actually a medical issue, you know, I had a problem. So it had to be treated first for me to actually be able to lose the weight. Yes, I'm doing sport, I'm active, but I had to first understand the root cause of my weight gain, right? And then for people who say, I've always been on the big side, yes. If you've always been on the big side, the possibility that you'll ever be a size 6 is like 0 out of 10, you know? So like I said, be kind to yourself. Don't let the norms, I know the media and social media has made it worse. We all have pictures of what we think we should look like. But let me tell you, we are all created differently, and I think there's no better artist than God. How boring would the world be if we all had the same shape, the same figure? I don't know, it would be a boring world, believe me. And I love watching people, like when I'm on holiday or when you go swimming. It's amazing looking at the different types of bodies and shapes, and it's beautiful. So you have to accept that maybe with your genetics and your build, you'll never be a size 6. But most important, maybe you focus on being healthy, being fit, to avoid getting sick and having too much fat in your body, because it can cause other illnesses. That's what you should focus about, you know. Don't push yourself into being skinny because someone is skinny. And not everyone looks nice when skinny. There are some people look terrible when they lose so much weight. So for me, weight loss should be focused on being healthy. And I'm guilty about this. I've told you, I've been beating myself all the time I put on those kgs. I've not hated, but I've been like, oh my god, this is so terrible, because I was not used to that picture, I was not used to that weight. I even feel it because like I've always been very, very skinny, you know. And so I know it's easily said than done. I've also been there where I'm like, oh my god, I can't stand this. But you have to be kind to yourself, you know, and don't beat yourself about things you can't change. Do your part, do sport, get active, but don't beat yourself about things you cannot change. As regards now the pills and the herbs, is it possible to clean out your system? What I would call a cleanse, yes. For example, what I normally do is every weekend I get to take, what do I call it? Not a tea, it's an oil. You can take it and it helps with the digestive system. So it clears out, you know, like your system. And for me, I only take that because I have a terrible digestive system. Some people are lucky to go to the toilet 3 times a day. I can go even for 3 days without, which is not healthy. So I always try, and that comes with the thyroid underfunction. So I always try to clean out my system like every weekend, which is very good and healthy because you're cleaning out your system. And then you can also try to do, we've heard of intermittent fasting and all that. I don't do that, but you can also try to fast once a week. And I'm not talking about complete fasting, but where you decide, for example, I'm not going to take carbohydrates, I'm not going to take sugars, I'm just going to have very, very light meals or even just smoothies for a week. So it helps your system to how do I say that in English? To rest and regenerate. I don't even remember the right word, but it helps, you know, to give your system a breather, because every day we eat, our body is always working, digesting. So it doesn't hurt giving yourself a breather. But taking herbs and pills on a daily is just going to harm your health. So how can you lose weight without having all these things? We'll go back to the points. First of all, go to your doctor, go to your PG, find out why you've put on weight. Or sometimes you even know it's just your lifestyle. If you're someone who is really careless with your lifestyle, you eat unhealthy, you basically don't move at all, you also know that. But most of the time I would advise you still to go to your PG, clear out all other issues, make sure there are no medical causes for that, and then work out a plan how I'm going to lose weight. 80% of our weight loss is determined by our diet. So before you even think of signing up to the fitness studio or going to the gym, you really have to focus on your diet. Look at your meals. What am I doing wrong? What can I remove from my meals? What can I eat less? I'm not a fan of saying I will not take carbohydrates, I will not take this. You only have to get a balance, and most of all, look at your calories. You know, so your calories are all determined with your age and your height, you know, so you really have to calculate that, and it's very easy. We have calculators in the internet that do that. So for me, I'm a 175, then I put my age, then I put if I'm female, then I calculate the kind of calories that I'm supposed to take. My perfect calorie intake would be a 1,500. So if I took like a 2,000 calorie every day, I would not be able to lose weight even if I kept going to the gym. So you need a calorie deficit. Calorie deficit doesn't mean you starve yourself, but you have to eat less than you've been eating to be able to lose that weight, right? Secondly, eat clean. Try to look at the things that you eat that I would consider junk. Avoid fast food. Personally, I would say I have good genes, like it's in my blood, but also it's very healthy. Like I said, for me, it was never about remaining skinny or slim, but it was about, I respect my body so much, and I believe you are what you eat, you are what you put in your system. You know, if we're going to spend a lot of money buying nice clothes and nice shoes, why not also invest in my health? Because that's the most important thing you have in your life, you know. So all my life I've been eating clean, trying to eat clean, trying to cut down on the red meats. You need that meat, yes, but you don't have to eat red meat every day. Red meat, I'm talking about beef, goat meat, which are the red meats? Yeah, you know, try to, at least if you really, really love meat, try to do it at least maximum 3 times a week. Then mix in white meat. White meat, we're talking about chicken, turkey, duck, you know, and then mix in fish, or even have a whole day where you just take vegetables, have beans, peas, but don't eat red meat, for example, on a daily. That is very common here in Germany. People eat meat from Monday to Sunday, breakfast to lunch to dinner. It's not good often for your arteries. It will clog up your arteries. It creates a lot of fat. If you're someone who loves to fry their food and not steam it, fry with healthy fats, you know. I'm a fan of olive oil. If you can afford that, do that. But if you're using, for example, ghee is one of the healthy oils, but you have to be very, very careful with it. If you use a lot, it's also very bad. But you can try ghee, or you try these other oils are plant-based, but use as little as possible. Then cut down on the sugars. If you're someone who has a sweet tooth, you're eating chocolate, you're eating cake, you're eating like the whole week, you really have to cut down on your sugars. Personally, lucky enough, I don't have a sweet tooth. I don't take, every once in a while, like when my kids go out with me and they order cake, I always take like one fork, you know, to taste. But I don't like sugar. My system just doesn't like sugar. And I don't take any sugar additives. Like when I take tea, I don't take sugar. So I haven't been taking sugar for more than, I think, no, 30 would be a lie. I think like 25 years now. Like I don't take any added sugars, be it honey or crystal sugar, whatever in my tea. I don't take sugar, basically. So it's important. And not just that, sugar ages you up, it ages your skin, it ages your system, it leads to cancers, you know. So to cut out on the sugar if you can. And that means the sugar is not just the sugar you put in your tea, but sugar is in so many things, many processed foods, in the cakes we eat. So try to eat less processed food, eat more fresh food. Avoid the chips and chicken. My goodness, that's one of, I think, the worst things, these fried things. They use this oil several times, which is alone very, very unhealthy, which is very cancerous. And then the oil, like this food sucks in the oil, avoid that. Then we talked about the carbohydrates. Try to avoid flour, like the wheat flour. It's very, very unhealthy. Yes, you can still use it, but like especially in the African community, we love chapatis and mandazis, you know, like the baking. Try to find alternatives. For example, cassava flour is very, very healthy for baking. Then we have the, I don't know the word in English. I forgot. I should have Googled that. It's called Buchweizen. Buchweizen is also good for baking. But for my English-speaking people, because I've not been able to translate that, I would advise you, for example, to try using cassava flour more often if you're someone who likes baking. And I've tried it myself. You can use it to make all those different things, you know. So try to cut down on the wheat. So basically watch your diet. 80%, that means 80% of your weight loss. So you really, really need a calorie deficit, and you need to watch what you eat. And then, of course, you have to do sports. Sports doesn't mean you have to go to the gym every day for 10 hours. No, really. All you need is at least, if you don't have a gym, for example, if you don't have a gym membership, you need at least 30 minutes every day to be able to lose weight. That means walking, that means hoovering your house, walking the steps, walking from your office to your car, at least 30 minutes. And if you can't do that, then try to plan at least 3 times a week for 1 hour. Just go for a walk, just go bicycle riding, just go swimming, just go dancing, you know. And then you'll be able not only to lose that weight, but you need the muscle. You know, the muscle, once you build muscle, you constantly lose fat. Your muscle needs to feed, let me put it that way. So the muscle even helps you to lose weight while you sleep. That's why people who go like to the gym and they do craft training, it's possible for them to remain fit even when they don't do sports for the next 1 year, because your muscle keeps you active, it burns the fat. So definitely, and if you're someone who hits the gym, make sure you get to talk to an instructor to look out for the appropriate kind of training that is good for you. And I would advise you to concentrate more on craft training. I don't know if that's the right word, like weights instead of cardio. You can do cardio, but not so much. Cardio can be very detrimental also for your health. Like, you know, athletes and all, cardio is good, but it causes muscle tear and to not just to your muscles like the other muscles, but also your heart. So it causes scars and all that. It has been researched, and I read a medical article about that, and I was like, ooh, I was shocked. It can be damaging, like overdoing cardio. So you can do cardio 5-10 minutes and then concentrate on the weightlifting and all that. And it's not all about how much weight you lift, but you really have to find the right pace for you, and that's why you need to talk to an instructor. And that is a long-term thing, because you're creating muscle, you're burning fat, but you're also creating strength. You need your core strength. You know, it makes you fit, it makes you feel better, it raises your mood, and you feel happier. So yeah, those are my tips for you to lose weight. Personally, I go to the gym, and like, you know, I love dancing. So for me, that's like a kind of sport. I wake up with music, go to bed with music. So I'm dancing all the time, all through. When I go to work, I park my car a little bit far from my office so that at least I get to work, and so on and so forth. Now that spring is coming, I go bicycle cycling with my kids about 16 kilometers three times a week. So that's what works for me. But once again, please, I know everyone is trying to sell you all this nonsense. Don't buy pills, don't buy herbs for weight loss. They are not good for you. They do not work. They will just lead you into other health complications. If you want me to do a video where I get to take you along to the gym or show you a day in my life, for example, what I eat in a day, I can also do that. But I think these tips should be able to help you. I don't know if I've forgotten anything, but you can also ask me in the comment section if you have any questions as regards fitness, weight loss, and we can be able to talk about that. Keeping fingers crossed for you that you hit your target weight in your fitness goal. Until next time, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and share the videos.